Not all windshields are made the same, but this is why you should get a StarknightMT flip-up windshield for your side-by-side. First off, let's talk about the durability. This thing is polycarbonate, but it also has hard coating on the front and the back side to help resist scratches. But not only that, it blocks UV rays. Really simple to use with the flip of a handle. Bottom panel sits low enough to stay out of the view of the passengers and the driver. Not only do they bend the edges over to be able to help stiffen this up, but they also add a nice piece of angle all the way down through here. They add a custom channel down here on the bottom that really stiffens this bottom up. Plus, there are 2 heavy-duty shock absorbers to help while you're riding rough terrain. You may be wondering, well, how fast can you go with this? Well, I'm going to tell you, I put it to the test, and I've hit 70 miles. So your kit contains not only the flip-up windshield, all of your screws and brackets, shocks, as well as your template and your tools that you need for this install. Here's our bottom panel. Now, I gotta say, this bottom panel is really nice. Has a super nice gasket along the bottom side. And along this face here that you actually have that the window closes on, it actually has a very nice metal trim to really stiffen this thing up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this thing. I'm leaving my plastic on until I get done with the install because, well, I don't wanna make a mistake. All right, now we're going to take our actual bracket along with the smaller screws that you're going to get in there, along with a smaller washer that has rubber on the inside. You're also going to get lock nut. And what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this part here that has the little cookout on it. This part here is going to go inside the cab. This part's going to go on the outside. You literally wrap it around the tube. You're going to take your bolt, add your washer to it. Now it's going to be a little tight because you have that rubber seal there. And you're basically going to put it through the bracket piece into the windshield, wrap around the back side. And then what you're going to do then is put your nut on it. Now, I'm not tightening this thing up. Just going to leave it loose for now because we want to get the top portion on before I tighten everything. What you're going to take one of these. And what you're going to do is you're going to place it right along this edge, basically like so. And that's going to give you the standoff point. You're going to come over here and you're going to come to the bottom of that weld right there, and you're just going to place that there. Now we have our place where our bracket goes. Now, one thing to note as well, you got to be careful because you can flip these the wrong way and they won't quite. Then you're going to come over here to where you have your little piece that's marked. You're going to run the top of the bracket to that piece, and then you're going to put a bolt, and then you're just going to put a nut on the backside. There's no washers on this. All right, so there's our welded bracket. Here's our little standoff piece to give us the right measurement down. And there's our bracket all tightened up, ready. All right, at this point, make sure your roof is loose so we can pull this up. All right, now we're gonna take this top portion. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this stuff off the top of it. Now this, we're gonna take just like this. And we are going to slide it up underneath here. And we're going to open our handle, make sure that's opened up. And wiggle it around in place. All right, now we are going to bolt in the top. Now you're going to take a bolt. You're going to get another one of those washers with the rubber on the back. You're also going to get a big piece of rubber here. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to go through the windshield. Once you come through the windshield, this is going to go on. Then it's going to go through the cage and with a nut on the backside. At this point, you're going to take your bolt. I've got my washer on there already. Now, this is going to go through the windshield. This rubber is going to go between the windshield and the actual frame of the machine. And then you're going to be able to put your nut right on there. Now, if you guys are wondering what hole I'm referring to, it's basically this hole you see right here that's on the frame. This is going to slide up and bolt in. When you get done, it should look something like that. Now, this is not tightened up, but you see there's a bolt with the washer with the big grommet on the backside and a nut on the backside. Now, we also have these straps. These go in the middle. So what you're going to do on these is you're going to lift your roof up. You're going to shove these through. Now, what you want to pay attention to is making sure that you put these the right way. So the proper way for these to be put through is, if you're looking at it, there's going to be a Velcro side that is the soft Velcro. All right, that's going to stay to the outside. You're going to loop this around the windshield, around the roll cage. You're going to pull this through and back over. All right, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and latch this windshield before I actually even put my pieces on for the struts. I want to make sure everything is fitting good like I want it to. And now I'm going to go ahead and tighten up these top bolts. And then I'm going to break it loose and go ahead and tighten, or should say open it up, and I'm going to tighten these bottoms up. Last but not least, we're got to install the struts themselves. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to screw this end here, which is the end that goes into the actual windshield mount. We're going to screw that first, then we will screw the bracket portion. Here we have it installed. Our first impression so far, I'm really liking what I see. Today, we're just going to get out. We're going to do a quick ride. I'm going to open this thing up. We're going to go as fast as we can, see how it does in the 70-mile-an-hour wind.
There we are, hitting 60 state, 70 right there. Oh, that's great. 72. The windshield closed, 0 issue. Now the real trick is how will it do once we pop this bad boy up? Ooh, that's a lot of wind. 65. Boy, a lot of wind. But on a hot day, it feels great. 67.
If you are looking for a windshield, I've got to highly suggest this StarknightMT flip-up windshield. So I have been a big Polaris fan. I had the Polaris windshield, but I did always find during the summer, even those little vents, they just, well, they don't produce enough air. This thing, I'm able to open up and actually get enough airflow in here to keep the cab cool. These things get hot during the summer. Let's be honest, it is super hot in these things. But now this windshield allows us to get a nice airflow. If we want to, we can close it off if we get into nasty weather or if it gets cold. Seals up very well. It has nice seals around the side. Nice seal down here all across the bottom. I mean, really, it is a great windshield. I'm going to put a